For the first time in 2 years, over 2 years, 738 days, Hamas holds no living hostages in its captivity for the first time. All 20 live hostages have now been handed over to the Israeli Defense Forces, and marking a pivotal moment in a ceasefire that the president confirmed had been brokered last Thursday. And now here we are on Monday morning.
20 courageous hostages are returning to the glorious embrace of their families, and it is glorious.
Photos show them looking pale, but not as thin as some of the hostages when they were freed back in January. A few hours later, the remaining 13 hostages were also released. They were taken to hospitals nearby to be checked out and are now in the process of being reunited with their families. Truly a joyous occasion. Meanwhile, Palestinians in the West Bank celebrated the release of prisoners today, as Israel had agreed to set free nearly 2,000 prisoners and detainees as part of the ceasefire deal. We're seeing footage of it there. The other big headline this morning, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will not attend a summit on Gaza and its future.
It has finally happened after 2 years of torture, after 2 years of so much pain, obviously on both sides of this Israel-Hamas war. The war is nearing an end. It's been declared over by Trump, at least, and most urgently and most importantly, there is a ceasefire in place. All living hostages have come home. In exchange for that, a lot of Palestinians have come home as well. Palestinian prisoners and detainees, including many who were convicted on life sentences for killing Israelis, have been sent back to Gaza or the West Bank. But in fairness, some who were detained without charges for a very long time. And all of the completely innocent Israelis who were taken from a music festival or from their homes, the ones who weren't murdered, have come back home, which has been the rallying cry for the entire nation of Israel, the entire war, and has been a ceasefire, has been the rallying cry, and an end to this brutal, tragic, horrible war has been the rallying cry of all Palestinian advocates as well. And so this should be a moment, a rare moment, especially in Middle East affairs, of happiness, of both sides of this incredibly divisive conflict agreeing that this is good news and taking a sigh of relief and hoping that this peace holds.
Everyone should be celebrating these things. And clearly the Palestinians are, and people in Israel are too. And now there are people in our nation, some of those aren't really celebrating or even acknowledging a thing. Yeah, our party's different, but this is a big, huge win for peace in this world. And it's entirely appropriate to do that. And if you're not willing to acknowledge that, you're ironically pointing out the absurdity and making it more personal when we can't all celebrate this peace after this awful war after 2 years.
So often in the course of this war, those who have been trying to correct misinformation and disinformation have been villainized. I've been villainized a ton. And yet every human that lives with integrity has to speak what they believe the truth to be. And many people saw this differently than I did. I know what I believe so strongly to be the truth. But on a day like this, it's a rare moment when we shouldn't have to worry about those disagreements. And yet the only frustrating thing is that I see so many who have called for a ceasefire on the Palestinian side of this terrible war, artists for ceasefire, they're totally silent. They're so strangely not speaking out about exactly what they've been hoping for. And that is disconcerting and very confusing, and it makes, if you're all curious, it makes the Jewish community feel as though this was never about a free Palestine, which I hope for so much as well. It was never about ending the brutal war, but it was a reason to vilify the one Jewish state in the world. That's how the Jewish people feel when people don't celebrate even the exact thing that people were calling for. The exact thing, a ceasefire. The end of the brutality of this war. So why is that? And you ask yourself why that is. You ask yourself why you're so hell-bent, if you are in that camp, on vilifying rather than celebrating this amazing news. And you have to be able to give credit where credit is due. You have to be able to give thanks when the moment calls for it. Love him or hate him, and I certainly am no Trump supporter by any stretch of the imagination, but he did make this deal happen in a way that other administrations were not able to. So I'm thankful for that. And the point of me saying that is that you have to be willing to speak across party lines, across ideological lines when the things you want happen. And you have to be able to speak against ideological lines when the things you don't want happen. Like I keep saying to my Trump supporter friends, you can support the man overall if that's how you so believe. But when he does things that you disagree with, you also can and should and must speak out against them because they're against your morals. Well, the same here. I didn't see any Palestinian advocates, of which I consider myself one as well, because I want peace for the Palestinian people very deeply. I haven't seen one of the people that are on that side and not at all on the side of Israel that I've seen condemn when in New York City, here in our own very country, on October 7th, on the second year anniversary of the horrible atrocities committed by the terrorist group Hamas, seemingly pro-Hamas group of enormous crowd was gathered, and the leader with the megaphone said, "We weren't strong enough on the first October 7th, so we'll have to be stronger on the second October 7th. The first October 7th, we didn't fight hard enough." And the whole crowd repeated all of those phrases. Can you at least condemn that? Can you at least condemn straight up calling for the slaughter of more innocent people? That would, of course, then lead to another retaliation and another war. If you can't do that, if you're not understanding of obvious cause and effect, if you can't speak against people initiating more violence and murder and tragedy, then where do your morals lie? With a political party, with a ideology, with one group of human beings over another group of equally valuable human beings? That doesn't make any sense. Speak out when your morals are triggered, no matter what side it is, even if you've been advocating for one side more than another. When something bad happens on the side you're on, condemn it. When something good happens on the other side, praise it. Because that's the only way we'll ever possibly get to world peace. The only way we'll ever possibly get to peace in any conflict, in any situation, even within our own country. You just have to be able to condemn bad stuff on your side, and you have to be able to praise good stuff on the other side. Otherwise, we can never come together as a world, as a country, as people, as a society. That's just the basic thing you have to be able to do. And you certainly, much easier than that, should be able to celebrate when you get the exact thing you wanted, when the good news comes. This world is filled with enough bad news and difficult things to process. When the good stuff happens, let's come together and celebrate it. I'm Ben Gleib for Rebel HQ. This was good news. This was good news. This was a good day. And let's hope for a lot more of that.
Hello everybody, David Schuster here. Thanks for watching. If you found this reporting and commentary valuable, do us a favor and tap the like button. For more content like this, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. That way you'll be notified on your YouTube homepage when we drop a new video. If you are tired of corporate spin and want honest, people-focused news, click the join button below and be part of the fight for a better future. We wouldn't be here without your support. Stay informed. Stay engaged, and thanks again for joining us.